Howdy, folks. My name's Blue, and I love to read.
And my name's Justin. And it's our 21st episode, baby.
Whoop, whoop.
You know what that means? Big old shot.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
What was that?
It was a...
Don't drink until you're 21, folks. Like Bella, who's not drunk, and she's not going to be 21. Ever.
No. So she can never drink, and Edward hasn't, because he's a good Catholic.
Yeah. He was Prohibition, right?
That was hard. That was hard for me. I haven't taken a shot in a while.
That's WWGD. You gonna be good? You gonna survive?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Welcome back to Reading Held Hostage, folks. What part are we on? We're on part 4 of Eclipse. If we go over, we can get this one done. Otherwise, we're gonna go into a part 5. Are you friggle fragging kidding me right now, bud? Justin got a fucking soda stream, and he's been obsessed with it. So when, and I do mean when, you hear him burp, I'll be really mean to him about it.
Ooh, that's going to be the in credits for this episode.
Is all your burps?
Yeah, so if you don't like burping... You're
correct, because
cut
they're
off the
literally
music. Once you hear the music, cut it off.
They're just mouth farts. Burps are just mouth farts. They are. They are. Tell me what happened last time. And don't mention the essay.
Yeah, nothing we want to bring up, really.
Well, the party happened.
Oh, and then Alice put up twinkle lights, baby, twinkle, twinkle.
And then the Quileutes and the Cullens are kind of having a medium.
And they're so buff, and they're so hot, and they're button heads.
Yeah.
And their butts are on point. I mean, what are you saying? What are you even saying right now? What are you saying,
Hey, Justin? That's gay. For all y'all folks, we're going to try our best not to mention the essay that happened last time around, but it does like pop up, so I'll mention it when it pops up, but we're going to try to move past that because apparently rough. Steph just did. Yeah. Steph was like, and Bella's chill.
Bella's fine and better now, apparently.
Yeah, so we're going to just, I guess, go with the flow on that.
This is the last time we're mentioning it.
Unless it's relevant to the book.
Hopefully it won't be.
It is.
Shit.
Okay. So we're on chapter 18. You remember that they had that party. The Quileutes were there, and they're going to go to a special meeting. So Bella's trying to get some sleep before this meeting, but she's insisting Edward take her to it. And he spends some time like, hey, it'll be okay. She's like, yeah, I'm not getting any sleep. Like, it's like literally not going to be okay.
Yeah, it's super not going to be.
Like, I don't understand how they can just sweep all of Bella's anxiety under the rug.
It's because anxiety is not real. If you just decide not to be anxious, you're fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what my therapist said.
That is not what your therapist said. Don't even say that.
That's what the hospital said when I went in. They were like, stop.
Yeah, knock that off, nerd. He gives her like a carrying piggyback ride, and they arrive in the same clearing that they played baseball in that one time where she first saw Victoria, James, and Laurent.
Hold on, Spider Monkey.
Hold on tight, Spider Monkey.
Blue watched the fucking movies.
Mm-hmm.
How many did you get through?
Well, I got through the first half of Twilight before I started getting mad, because... Oh, no, I did finish it all.
Yeah.
Because I was getting mad at the part where they hurt Charlie. And then I started Eclipse, and I was getting mad at Jacob, so I stopped.
Okay.
Oh, no, I meant New Moon.
Okay. Hey, Bose headphones, if you want to sponsor us, your noise-canceling headphones is the only thing that got me through that. I was over at my desk playing Spider-Man when she was doing that. Didn't hear a word.
Except for when you did, and then you made me almost cry. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I was saying something about Twilight to the folks, and Justin goes, oh, I wish this headphone had more noise canceling.
Oh, you're saying.
I was so sad.
That was a good joke.
All right, you ready? So they're in the same clearing.
No, I'm not ready.
What do you need? Your goddamn water?
Don't click it.
I'm clicking it.
I'm gonna add it back in. You can go ahead.
I'm gonna soda stream that up your ass.
Fuck, Blue.
You hate when I spit on the floor.
Yeah, it went on my nose.
Bubble water.
I did fucking feel good. Ugh.
Take a sippy sip. Little sippy bitch.
Little simp boy.
You good?
Little simp boy like his soda water. Don't click it out. I'm putting it in.
So, at this clearing, I think it's a really bad space for them to go because, like, that's the spot where it happened.
It's the one place Victoria knows that Bella's been.
Yeah. And Bella then has the realization that, like, everything is connected, not just those two things. Like, Victoria is connected to all this as well. And Edward's like, that's an interesting theory. I'm like, can you give it a little bit more wiggle room there, bud?
That's an interesting theory, but you're also a woman.
Yeah.
So,
Ew.
Shut the fuck up, please.
They get closer to the group.
Do you know how I like my women? Interrupted and quiet. Oh, God. I'm sorry.
Justin thinks he is so funny.
Oof.
Little
That
does he
shot's
know,
hitting me.
he's going to be so divorced.
That shot's hitting me already, so
Yeah.
this is going to be a fun episode.
Then put your
everybody.
nice pants on instead of your jackass pants.
But I ain't got no pants on.
Yeah, you do.
For the listeners at home,
Don't
boxers
even play that
only.
game. Oh,
Boxers
gross.
only, baby.
Okay, are you ready? We need to edit that out. They get close to the Cullens and Alice is brooding. And again, I just want to mention that Alice is 4 foot 10 inches, 4 foot 9 inches.
Not even five, not even
no,
hitting 5.
she's really small. She's just about Danny DeVito's height.
What's the cutoff for little person?
I don't know. Well, there's 2 different types. There's dwarfism and actual, like, genetic mutations, and then there's just being small.
I thought the dwarfism was genetic mutation.
Danny, I want to check how tall he is. I'm pretty sure he's 5'9", or 4'10". He's just as tall as Alice. So imagine Alice,
Danny DeVito.
but as Danny DeVito.
What was I gonna say? So that scene in Sunny, where he comes out the couch.
I'm the trash man.
No, where he comes out the couch and he's all lubed up.
Yeah.
I watched an interview when he was talking about it.
I hate that scene.
He just had a sock on his dong, and that was it.
Oh, God.
And they lubed him up and put him in the couch. And he was in the couch for like 30 minutes or so before he came out.
He's so tiny. So Alice is as tiny as Danny DeVito. And Bella's, like, really particularly worried about Alice fighting besides everybody.
How tall's Charlie in them?
I would say they're just, like, normal people height, like 5'8" to 5'10".
Oh, you're saying that being short isn't normal?
Yeah, exactly
That it's
what
an
I just
issue?
said. Yeah. And, in fact, they're disgusting.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm 5'11". I say I'm 5'10" to piss off people who say they're 6 foot, who are actually 5'9".
Yeah.
Men.
Cis men.
Yeah. And my issue is that I don't look down enough. So when I'm working, I like run into people that are like shorter than me. I'm like, I didn't see you.
You're not that tall, dude.
I'm not that tall. I'm not that tall. And it happens to me.
You heard it here first, folks. Justin discriminates at work.
So imagine being Jacob and Alice walks up to you.
6'7".
You wouldn't notice her.
No.
You would not notice her walk up to you.
Literally. She's so small. And I can understand 100% why Bella's a little freaked out. Justin, please don't.
I'm sorry. I'll keep it open.
So Alice is all broody because she can't see anything in their future due to the werewolves' involvement. But Edward can hear their minds, and they're already coming in their wolf forms because they don't
they're
trust...
coming in their wolf forms?
I'm gonna be done with you. Edward can hear their minds, and they're coming to them in their wolf forms. But this is because they don't trust the Cullens enough yet. And Edward tells everyone to prepare because the wolves have been holding out on them.
Or it's the best way to travel.
Yeah, which is correct.
Like, imagine just being able to run at fucking, like, I bet they can go over 70.
Yeah, they're pretty fucking fast because they could be bears or horses. I don't know.
Like, little dogs can hit 35.
Oh, like greyhounds and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like consistently hit 35.
Yeah.
And
they're big human werewolves.
they're giant.
Yeah.
They're the size of horses. How fast
or
do you think
maybe a
they can
bear,
get?
we don't know.
Maybe a
we'll
moose.
literally never know.
Maybe a fish.
No.
Okay, not a fish?
Not a fish.
Okay, I was confused.
Yeah, well, it's because you're dumb.
But how would... No gas. You're not spending any money on gas. No traffic.
But they do have to change their clothes.
Put a backpack on.
They got the little thing on their foot, remember?
Okay, wait. How many times have they seen each other's dongs, you think?
Probably a lot, considering they can control that the others can literally see every thought they ever had.
Oh, no.
They actually make a comment.
Blue.
I think it's in the next book, because the Breaking Dawn has Jake's perspective, and one of the other boys who is an appropriately aged, imprint, they kind of make a comment about how nobody wants to know what they're up to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they all do, because they have literally no control over that.
Cool. That would suck.
They complain. They're gonna keep complaining about it.
It sucks. Like, imagine having to read someone's mind.
Yeah, literally no control over it.
Yeah. Is that how Edward is, or can he control it?
He hears them all, but he can kind of like block it out. It's kind of like, you know, when you hear selective hearing, like when a bunch of people are talking to you, you can be like, and I'm actually not listening to everybody.
It's a lunchroom thing again, where you're like, you can hear everybody, but
yeah, what do you actually hear here? All right.
What are you listening to?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
So Emmett makes an exclamation that the pack has grown, and Bella forgot how tall these guys were, how tall these wolves are. They could be as tall as horses. Again, bitch. Bella, just say they're tall.
Is this the second time that she was like, oh my god, are these horses?
Literally. She counts 10 of them. So I'm sure you don't remember, but the last time there were only 6 wolves, which means 4 people have joined the wolves.
Okay, and we're never going to get their names or know
do.
their backstory.
Well, we don't really know most of their backstories.
Well, they are Native Americans. It's not like
yeah,
they're
why
real
would we want to
people.
know any of that? But,
hey, that was a joke. Just by the way, that felt bad coming out of my mouth. So I'm just going to be like, hey, that was a joke about how Stephanie Meyers is kind of a bigot.
Yeah.
And by kind of, I mean...
Oh my god, I'm sweating balls. All right.
Blue has had half of her daiquiri.
More than half. But I've got all this hair on me.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Edward translates for the wolves, and Sam, says they'll watch and listen, but no more. This is the most we can ask for our self-control. Carlisle explains that Jasper's going to teach them, and they can properly adapt this to their own hunting style.
Watch and listen what?
They're doing like a training.
Okay.
Jasper's going to train them on how to fight newborns.
This is the Rocky training montage.
Yeah.
To beat.
But like way sexier.
I don't know. Have you seen him beat that fucking meat? Like literally beat the meat.
Then
like literally he's
the
punching
pack
meat in the movie.
It says they weren't. This isn't the Rocky fan cast.
Yeah, but I think it should be.
The pack was not aware that these vampires were different, and they're very interested in learning about this. And Alice says she's seen them come across the mountain in 4 days.
It's like when you want to get deep in the lore of something, you're like,
What are you talking about?
You never got deep in the lore?
Of what? What are you talking about?
Of anything.
What do you bring? What made you talk about that?
Them wanting to know about the new
Oh,
vampires.
okay, yeah, about the newborns. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get deep in the lore.
You get deep in the lore?
Bro, I dig deep in the lore.
You get deep in the lore.
Yeah.
Dig deep in the lore.
No.
Baby.
So Jasper then talks about how to attack. Basically, it's just don't let them get behind you and don't let them get their hands around you. And then Jasper...
That is not good fight training.
That's all he has right now. That's all I'm going to talk about. I don't give a shit about the rest of this.
Don't let the person you're fighting get behind you. And don't let the person that is trying to murder you get a hold of you.
That's pretty good considering the wolves are dumb. Jasper then turns to like Alice and Bella, and he's like, Bella, I know you're really anxious about Bella or Alice, so like look at this, she can read the future. And then they fight, and then they do like perfectly well, like that never happens. What?
Does Alice just beat the shit out of him?
Well, she just avoids his every move because she can see his next step.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, here's the thing. The chess thing. Mind reader versus future teller.
Yeah.
Yeah, who wins?
I think neither of them won.
So, in a fist fight, who wins? Is it just the person who can put more power into it?
Well, Edward's pretty fucking fast.
Yeah. Because, like, at some point, it stops being about technique.
Yeah.
It just becomes who can land a hit and who hits harder.
Yeah.
Like, if everybody's technique is perfect, it's who can land a hit and who can hit harder.
Mm-hmm.
So, Edward versus Alice. In the comments right now.
Who will win?
It's only on Spotify, I think. I don't know if Anchor puts it on. I don't think it does.
No, I don't think so.
So, go to Spotify. We didn't have any votes besides me about Gator and Edward.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Edward v. Alice now.
So Alice then comes over to Bella while Edward's out fighting and whispers to her, "I've got my eye on you, Bella. If your plans get any more defined, I'll tell him and you dying will change nothing." So basically they insinuate, they don't really go into it, that Bella had a plan forming that she was going to like either kill herself or do something. And Alice said, don't.
She was going to sacrifice herself for
they don't really go into it. So they're done and they invite the pack to come around the next day, and the Edward translates that they think it would be helpful to be familiar with all of the scents of the Cullens. So the werewolves are like, we want to know your scents, so we don't like fucking kill you.
Give me a big ol' huff of that.
They line up in a row and go very still, and the wolves come around to give them sniffs.
Jacob fell in love at first.
At this point, Bella can see the pack a lot more clearly. There's a very small light gray wolf, a gangly, uncoordinated desert sand color wolf, which is really fucking mean.
A dangly,
she has
stupid, skinny
the
wolf.
meanest fucking comments about people and things in her area.
Is it kind of just the indigenous people? Because that's what we've covered so far.
That's true. I feel like she was really mean to somebody. No, she wasn't. Oh, yeah, it was Kim, who's indigenous. Remember, she was super mean to Kim.
Her fucked up face.
Yeah. She can tell who Sam is because he's a huge black wolf and he's the first in line. She can tell the wolf right behind him is clearly Jacob, the reddish-brown, shaggy fur.
Who should be the alpha? He's so alpha energy.
Hey, what's up? I'm the alpha.
He's so alpha, he could be a Sigma. Am I right?
Sigma D's nuts.
Fuck!
The Jacob wolf is a lot more comfortable around the vampires in comparison to these other wolves, and he gives Bella a big lick on her face, which, no, the reason I was about to say that, okay, trigger, skip a minute and a half. He just assaulted her.
Oh, God.
Like, 5 days ago.
And now he's giving her a big old sloppy dog kiss.
Yeah. Which, like, one, I don't like it when a normal dog kisses me.
Yeah, and then a horse-sized dog.
A horse-sized dog that did recently do not so great things to you.
Yeah.
So,
all right, we're back. We're done with
we're done. We're back. So Edward's, like, disappointed at Bella's elation to see him, which, like, I would also be upset that my partner is not really grasping the ick that this person just did to them.
Hey, Blue, we said we're done.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, Edward's uncomfortable with this situation.
Yeah, totally.
Rightfully so.
Totally understandable.
So the Jacob Wolf and Edward are having some sort of mind speak thing, and the Jacob Wolf gets pissed and turns back, like, goes into the woods and comes back as a human. And he's wearing sweatpants and his shaggy hair is all around him. And Jake starts a conversation at the point they left it, and Bella can tell they're talking about her, because they're talking about what they're going to do with Bella during the fight, and apparently Charlie's going to be with Billy, so.
Question. How many sweaters do you think you can make out of one werewolf?
Well, considering, I don't think we know it yet, but considering the facts I know, infinite.
Ooh.
And you'll learn it here soon.
So they could clothe everybody,
yeah.
Make those dollar bills, and maybe actually give some to the real life tribe.
Well. So, Jake has this good idea about hiding Bella in the mountains, because if Jake picks her up and then takes her to a spot, the newborns won't be able to find her, because the newborns have no fucking clue what this wolf thing is. They're going to stay as far away from it as possible.
They're like, ooh, stinky,
yeah,
big thing.
And it masks Bella's scent altogether.
Yeah, because he stinks.
Yeah. So they do a quick test run, and shockingly, Bella doesn't want to be picked up by Jacob.
What?
And Alice and Edward realize it works, so they decide that Bella will set a fake trail into the clearing with her scent, and then Jacob will walk her up into the mountains. And then Edward quickly gets mad at Jasper for no reason that anybody understands, but apparently Jasper was thinking it would be a good idea to have Bella in the clearing because it would make the newborns go fucking apeshit. Like, he thinks very militaristically, you know?
Yeah, he's like, what's the best chance of winning this?
Yeah, and of course Edward's like, that is super fucking dangerous. And Bella's like, I'll do it. And he's like, literally no. But I can see both sides of this scenario.
Yeah, he's like, literally, like, the best thing you could do is fuck with someone's emotions while you're fighting them. Because it's going to make them not.
Yeah.
Their reaction time is going to be slower. They're going to make more dangerous moves.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's just military-wise, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So they decide they're going to lay the false trail on Friday. Then Seth Clearwater, who's one of the new werewolves. So we learn that the new werewolves are Seth Clearwater, a little kid named Colin, and another kid named Brady, and then we don't know who the other one is yet.
Are you about to be impressed?
Yeah.
Is Seth Sam's brother?
No.
Fuck! God damn it.
But I'm impressed that you tried.
Yeah.
And I love you. Seth is Harry Clearwater and Sue Clearwater's son.
Okay.
Leah Clearwater.
I thought Sam was Sam Clearwater.
It's Sam Yulee. You were probably thinking that he dated Leah Clearwater before Emily came into the picture.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what happened in your brain.
Yeah, it must have. I know all those names.
Got the wires crossed.
Yeah.
But so since Seth refuses to stay back with the other two younger ones, and I do think they mean younger as in like physical human age, not
wolf power.
like amount of time as a wolf, because Seth's only 15. And I believe these other two younger boys are 13.
So why don't all three of the younger ones go up in the mountains with Bella?
Because they're going to have the younger two at the Quileute tribe to protect the tribe.
Okay.
But really, it's just kind of like they feel really comfortable that the vampires aren't going to get that far. So it's more like a
safety thing.
Yeah, you're going to probably end up killing us if we bring you around.
But the thing is, like, Jacob could probably beat all three of those dudes.
What dudes?
The three new werewolves, the youngest ones.
Yeah, at once, yeah.
So why put him in the mountains?
Jacob's not in the mountains.
Is he not going to be in the mountains?
No. Seth's in the mountains.
Oh. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So then Jacob and Edward joke about how like they're trusting their mortal enemies. And it's like, who cares? So we're on chapter 19 now. She ends up sleeping like all day.
More like they're immortal enemies.
Hell
bam,
yeah,
bam,
brother.
Bam.
Oh, you know that before we start chapter 19, that actually brings it up about these two new werewolves who just turned 13. They're done aging.
Oh God.
Until they can stop transitioning into a werewolf.
How is that not going to raise any alarms?
Like I get
in the tribe, because a lot of the members of the tribe don't know. I just hit my microphone.
Yeah, and they can't let the parents know. So it's not like these two 13-year-old boys let their parents know. You can only let people who you've imprinted on know. Or like council elders.
So they're just going to be like, oh,
these two 13-year-olds are now 6'7", 300 pounds.
And never
not
aged.
aging.
Yeah.
Which would be like not cool.
Not cool.
I, as a parent, would be really fucking freaked out by that.
Yeah. Also, cool thing that you can do in fiction, just make them 18.
Yeah. Great thing you can do in fiction is just fucking whatever you want, pretty much.
I am tired of so many fictions being based on children and putting them in extreme physical danger and sexual, like, acts.
Yeah. And I remember we talked about this a little bit last time round, but I get when it was just like the Edward, Bella, Jacob love triangle. Like, I've read a lot of kids' books. We're going to read Hunger Games. We're going to read Divergent. We're going to learn all kinds of stuff, like 16 to 18-year-olds doing stuff that they should not be doing.
Teen love triangles is a staple of books.
Yeah.
And it's always going to be.
But there's a big difference between, like, at the end of this book, it takes such a big step into being more adult, which makes me really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If my 9 to 13-year-old was reading this.
Yeah. It's just like, why would you want children to think like this is a necessary thing to grow up as fast?
Yeah. You don't need to grow up fast, yo.
Yeah, I mean, like, also, one, don't listen to our podcast.
Yeah. If you're a child, get out.
To you.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, you're telling, like, what is happening in these books is telling 13, 14-year-olds that they have to be militaristic, like, soldiers in a
werewolf,
supernatural
vampire,
world. Yeah.
And they have to find their soulmate that young.
Yeah.
Which is very rare.
Yes.
If ever. Like, we worked to be together. We did counseling and all that. Like, you don't just find who you want to be at 14.
And you're like, yep, I'm done.
And we're done. All right. You ready to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay. She sleeps all day, and she eats some breakfast and takes a moment to look at the new charm bracelet. And Edward points out that it's okay that everybody else gives her a present, but not him, and that's kind of bullshit.
What did she have for breakfast?
I think she just had a Pop-Tart, honestly.
Pop-Tart?
Yeah.
That's not a good breakfast.
Well, I remember her name dropping that, and I was like, that's not good for her.
That's, oh my god, Steph with the name brands, baby.
She loves a good name brand. It'd be even funnier if she was like Kirkland brand. I don't even know what Kirkland would call them. Like toaster.
She had Kirkland brand bread and hazelnut spread.
Yeah. He asked if he's allowed to give her a hand-me-down. Not a gift, it's a hand-me-down to put on the charm bracelet.
And it's just solid, brick of gold.
Brick of gold. You're going to laugh when you figure out what it is. Alice calls Edward, and they talk about how Bella knows that Alice told Edward she was planning on making her way into clearing. Anyways, basically they talk forever and ever, and Edward is trying to tell her a little bit about the pack stuff he learned in their heads last night. So she's like, I'm gonna get Seth to bring me down to the clearing during the thing, and he's like, I'll literally ask Sam to like order Seth not to, and Seth will not be able to do anything about it. Like, I learned a lot about the pack last night. Did you know that Jacob's second in command, and his orders also need to be followed?
Oh. Does Edward have like a range to his mind reading?
He does, yes.
Okay.
And it's also how much he knows the person. So, like, him and Alice could probably be way further away than, like, him and Rose.
Yeah.
And he could read there.
Or him and Jacob.
Yeah,
even.
well, yeah, yes.
Jacob has to be right there for him to read it. Okay.
So, yeah, Jacob's the second in command.
It's because he's so buff and hunky and hot and
but he's kind of a beta.
Don't say, Blue, you're going to make me cry.
And then he says, the pack has been following a lot of secrets. For instance, did you know that smaller gray wolf last night was Leah Clearwater? And
a woman!
This also surprised the Williams, because they all had always accepted that it was only the grandsons of the original wolf that could transform.
I'm gonna puke blood if a woman it becomes a werewolf. Blue.
Wait, this gets good because he brings up fucking drama, and I love this because I love to hear drama. I would never like share it with anybody I thought would like. I'd always share it with you, but then like it wouldn't leave this house.
I don't know. I tell everybody everything.
Yeah, you talk to so many people.
I talk shit all the time.
But Edward, on the other hand, does not feel that way because he goes, yeah, I heard all their internal thoughts. And Bella goes, I feel really bad for Leah. Like, that must be really fucking hard. And Edward's like, I wouldn't feel that bad. She's making life very unpleasant for the rest of them. She's being very malicious and bringing up stuff the pack would rather not think of. For example, Embry. So, for one, you remember the wolves cannot control what they hear from the other wolves.
Yeah.
So, if I thought something, everybody in the pack would hear it, no matter what.
It's like just shouting in a room.
Yeah, literally. So, she brings up something like Embry. Apparently, Embry's mother moved down from the Maka reservation when she was pregnant with him, which means his mother is not Quileute. which means his father must be a Quileute. And since there are only 3 lines of Quileute blood that turn into werewolves, Embry's father is either Quill Atera Sr., Joshua Yulee, or Billy Black, all of whom were married at the same time.
Oh, hoeing. We hoeing. We hoeing over here.
Now either Quill, Sam, or Jacob have a half-brother. And this is the type of thing Leah brings up. And they feel pretty comfortable it was Sam's father, since his dad, like, was not a great dad, but, like, none of the 3 of them will bring it up to their parentage.
Okay, here's the thing about being a 13-year-old boy. You don't control the thoughts you got.
No, not as a kid.
All. And you know as well as I, going through puberty.
Yeah.
You're horned up.
Let alone, like, speed of light puberty they're going through.
Yeah.
Because Jake and, like, Seth, they were in their late stage of puberty, but they hit it already. Yeah. So, they're getting all kinds of crap they don't want to hear.
So, how often do you think... I wonder what Bella looks like naked has been streamed into everybody else's head.
And Jacob's like, whoa, don't think that. And he's like, I literally didn't want to.
Yeah.
I literally did not want to.
Yeah.
And so Leah's doing this kind of thing. I will say that I do feel bad for for Leah, but we'll talk about that in the next book during Jacob's. Well, Jacob has like...
Does it go back in time and... Third person
no.
Follow Jacob?
It goes Bella, and then during, spoilers, Bella's pregnancy, Jacob, and then back to Bella.
Okay. And Edward's a completely different book.
Yeah, that's called Midnight Sun, which I will not be reading.
Okay. Yeah, because he's kind of the worst character.
Apparently, reading Midnight Sun, I was on the Reddit. And a lot of folks were saying that it brings a lot of perspective to why Edward was the way he was, because he's generally so afraid that Bella will die that he overcompensated. And that's why he's such a dick.
Yeah.
But that also kind of feels like J.K. Rowling being like, and Dumbledore's gay. Like, she wrote the book way after. Like, if you felt that way about Edward, you should have had him communicate that to Bella during the actual book she first wrote.
And Reader Skeeter's not a trans stereotype.
God, I hate that one.
Like, the thing is, though, it's like when people are like, oh, they're from a different time and like all this stuff. It's like, yeah, but you lived through all the times since then. All
the things have happened since then. It didn't just stay the same unless you're like in Mississippi in the boondocks.
Yeah. It's like how like old people are like really old people are like, oh, I'm done with technology. Fine, with technology, that's fine. You can just be done with it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to learn this. But with social interactions,
with human rights,
you can't just be like, I'm done.
Justin, nobody's gonna listen to us because we're too liberal.
Oh, leftist.
No. Oh, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Is that what I meant?
Far left, baby.
I actually don't care about the government. Which one's that?
I don't care about capitalism.
I got my apocalypse binder. We should make a website so I can post my apocalypse binder.
Yeah.
It's 130 pages.
And then all you simps can be part of our clan when the apocalypse happens.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. I have the first 2 years. Where were we?
I don't even know. We tangented real hard.
We were talking about the tea, which is totally not tea Edward should have spilled to Bella at all.
No, he was just basically, hey, this is this person's deep inner thoughts that they might not want to be having. Like the whole thing.
I feel bad for Quill or for Embry too.
With therapy, again, it's like you can't control your thoughts. Mm-mm. So, like one of the things you have to accept is thoughts will happen.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Whatever random thoughts come into your head are okay if you don't act on them.
Yeah.
But Edward is taking it into his hands to act on it for other people.
Yeah, and share this shit. And like Bella can kind of tell that he's like trying to distract her.
He's talking shit.
Yeah, he's like, ooh, which like I would be kind of like, fuck yeah, I want to know this. But like I would also feel really uncomfortable learning. Like in real life, I would be so uncomfortable learning that somebody had a half brother.
Yeah.
And that their parentage wasn't what they thought it was.
Yeah.
I mean, me in particular.
It's just like torturing someone to get information and then sharing it.
Yeah, so
it's like,
ew.
It's completely unethical how you got that information.
He's just using it for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
So like I said, Bella can tell he's trying to distract her with this info, and she decides to bring up the hard stuff. He's
just gaslighting her.
Well, not really. It's not really gaslighting. It's more just like manipulation.
Yeah.
God, Justin.
That's like a pretty big word.
Are you sure? She feels like she could not stand if he left her again. And she knows damn good and well that she is hurting and manipulating him with this information. That like she's using the fact that he left her that one time to make him stay with her during this fight.
He's kind of a fucking asshole, so.
They both are. He's upset because he feels like he's asking his family and the wolves to fight for them, but he won't even be joining them, which I feel like is a pretty valid point.
But also, you have a goal, is to keep Bella alive.
Yes.
Why shouldn't you follow through with that goal?
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
If he wants to protect Bella so bad, why doesn't he want to physically protect Bella?
Oh, like be there with her?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because he feels that Seth can protect her, but I hear what you're saying, yes.
Yeah.
So
he wants everybody to do things for him so he can be the valor of battle.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I hear what you're saying. She begs that they can be together, and so he decides that he's going to go discuss this with Jasper to see what they need to move around in the fight plan. And Alice is going to, like, babysit her. Before Edward leaves, he asks about the story of the third wife. She'd been mumbling about it in her sleep. And she's like, oh, it's nothing. Then Alice shows up, talks to Bella, and Charlie comes home. She basically manipulates both Bella and Charlie to basically have Bella come keep Alice company during the weekend. She's like, the family's gonna be gone. It's just gonna be me. And Charlie's like, oh my gosh, Bella, go hang out with that. Go, like, Charlie's like, oh my god, like, Alice, that sucks.
A pequeño baby.
Yeah, she's got Charlie in her pocket. So she goes to pack for the weekend, and Edward's in her room.
Get out.
Alice
Get out.
is not kidnapping her this weekend. Edward is. They're going to be home alone.
That's a sin. I don't know much about Catholicism. That's a sin.
This is Mormon. So definitely a sin.
I thought Edward was Catholic.
Oh, you're correct. Yeah, he's Catholic. They're in the clearing again for training. There are only 3 wolves this time round. It's Jacob, Quillen, Embry. And while the vampires are practicing, the Jacob wolf comes over to Bella, and she kind of talks to him without reading his thoughts. It's very weird.
Wait. Was Jacob around for the foundation of Mormonism?
Jacob?
Or not Jacob. Carlisle was.
Carlisle was, yeah. So was Jasper.
Jasper? Is Jasper the second oldest?
Yes.
Okay.
But he's been with the family the least amount of time.
Yeah. Okay. So Edward wasn't, just by a little bit,
What do you mean?
around for Mormonism's founding?
No, he wasn't. Edward was born in 1901.
Yeah, so
I think it was 1880s or something.
Yeah, a little off.
You good?
It's just so weird to me thinking about what they've lived through.
Mm.
It's like when the Queen died, R.I.P. Our big Lizzie baby.
Oh.
I hate her, it's fine.
Yeah, I know, but still. Thinking of all the things she lived through.
Yeah. It's like she's lived through any movie you can think of.
Mm-hmm.
Any movie you can think of,
she fought in the first or the Second World War.
Yeah.
Well, no, she was
engineer.
Something like that. Something with cars.
Because
all the members of the royal family are technically part of the military, but very few of them actually are active in the military.
Yeah. And then it's just it's just so interesting to any sports player you can think of, she's lived through.
Yeah. Really anything we as human beings can think of from our history class,
not our history class, but
I don't know,
pop culture in general.
Well, American history.
Yeah.
Really only started in this 1770s.
200 years.
Yeah.
So
Carlisle was alive for that.
she lived through half of it.
Yeah. The Queen's been alive for half of that.
Yeah.
Edward's been alive since the 1900s. Jasper's 1860s.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty significant.
Yeah.
And you know they're barely teaching kids history nowadays, so like you literally like a
Well,
kid.
it's just a
Propaganda. Propaganda.
It's very proper to teach
Okay,
these kids
are you ready
that
to keep going?
military is the only way of life.
The Jacob wolf sits next to her and she starts petting him, and he makes some like
Gross.
weird like chuff wolf laugh sound. I don't even know how I would describe it. I don't love the way Steph described it, but they like kind of like communicate about how they're anxious, and Bella's just like talking to him while Jacob's humming and yipping. And she starts to vibe with this Jacob wolf because she's a lot more comfy with the Jacob wolf than...
Because he can't talk.
That's my thought.
Like you know Bub.
Yeah,
like
my sweet baby boy.
Anxious or like when he... So it's like there's a lot of nonverbal communication that dogs can get across. But also that's a full person.
I'd be so fucking freaked out if a dog like looked at me and was like, hey bro, like, I need you to scratch my back right now.
Yeah.
Like with their eyes.
Yeah. Hey, I know about the Bible. If a dog looked at you and then communicated, I know about the Bible.
Or if the Jacob wolf looked and was like, hey, you know how Embry could possibly be my half brother? That'd be fucking weird. Okay. So, this is gross. We're gonna start talking about like sex stuff without the book actually mentioning sex stuff.
Cool.
So there's that. So are you ready? You're not.
No, I'm not.
Chapter 20. She packs for her visit with Alice.
It's funny how I said I was not ready. And
Charlie's going to be in La Push with the two youngest members of the pack. This is what I was saying. Colin and Brady. They're only 13.
pushing them away from the battle.
And Bella decides she finally feels ready to join the Cullens and become a vampire. But she decides there's only one human experience she wants before she turns.
Bone Zone.
I just want to say, so chapter 20, this book has 27 or something chapters.
Excuse me.
And then, you know, the next book, stuff happens. They don't mention the actual sex word, making love, anything like that until the 5th chapter of Breaking Dawn.
Here's the thing. You could ask everybody in the house if it's different. Yo, is it different to bone as vampire than human? Like, is it different? No, I don't need to do that. Cool. Okay.
So, at Edward's house, he gives her a pretty heart-shaped crystal that is very beautiful, and it's the hand-me-down. It belongs to Edward's mother. He tries to shrug it off as cash. And then
Not
cash.
Fucking cash.
I refuse to go into details here, but please read or listen to chapters 20 and 21 if you want to throw up. I almost threw up listening to it because of the angst and ickiness.
It's not cash to give your mother's necklace that you've held on to for 114 years.
You can't make that cash. I'm sorry. So Bella has decided that her one requirement, and again, these are not the words they use because
is to get boned up.
She's, hi, baby.
Oh, Bruno's here.
Hi, Bruno. She decides she wants to lose her virginity to Edward before becoming a vampire. She wants him to be a vampire and have sex with her. So the reason she wants this is because she's worried...
She likes it cold.
No, stop. She's worried that when she becomes a newborn, she will not have, like, capacity to want Edward in a sexual way. She will only want blood and to kill people. So that makes sense from her perspective, why she would want to do that.
But also wait like 6 months.
Also, Edward is worried due to the possibility of fucking murdering her.
Yeah.
I completely understand Edward's perspective on this.
If you can run at, like, what can you run, like 50 miles per hour? You'd run through someone.
Yeah.
Like.
I completely get, and like, so they continue, and he counters that he will attempt to have sex with her as a human, as long as she promises to marry him first due to religion. And I wrote, every boy and girl's dream is to be proposed to this way, as a, you know, compromise or give and get kind of situation. So this is how they get married. This is how they get proposed. So he's very excited. And she's like, ew, don't say we're getting married. You just agreed to marry him because you want him to bone you.
Yeah.
This is not a compromisable situation.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you can't. It's just not a situation you compromise on like that.
Also, I don't feel like he can top at all during this. He's bottoming this whole time or she dies.
Oh my god. They're talking like during this time, like this is such a healthy way to communicate. They're like, oh my god, we're compromising. And I was like, neither of these things or issues are things you should compromise on.
No.
Losing your virginity is something you should feel comfortable with. Edward does not feel comfortable with this situation of losing the virginity this way. He's worried he's going to kill. No, he's a virgin. But he's worried he's going to kill the love of his life.
Yeah.
And so they talk more, and it all comes down to Edward trying to protect her virtue because he's committed a lot of sins, but he won't commit this one.
Shove a stick up your asshole. Like, if you don't want to have sex, that's fine.
Totally fine.
Don't control other people's whatever.
Yeah, so it's very weird because, like, the way they're talking about it, they're like, we are the health goddesses, relationship goals. And it's like, no, I'm sorry. We are at relationship. We're not, though, sometimes. He's fucking bribing her into marrying him, and she's bribing him into boning her. Yeah. When he is worried about her safety and ability to survive.
Yes.
No.
You should not be coerced into marriage. Blue, that is getting picked up 1,000%.
You should also not be coerced into giving your virginity away for any reason.
Enthusiastic consent is the only type of consent there should be.
And during this time, like, Bella's like, oh, like, I'm not like other girls. I don't want to be married, which is fine. But she's like, she doesn't even want to see the ring. Edward is so overjoyed that she has said yes to his proposal.
He springs one up.
No, he's like getting down on one knee. He does like a real proposal, but she's like, ugh, gross. Like, all I imagine is a quickie wedding in Vegas. How do you, like...
They just have completely different goals as a couple. Mm-hmm. And it's frustrating to see. And they're the friends that you're like...
Are you sure? Are you sure? Okay. Like, you're not going to say anything too forward because you want to make sure, like, you're there for somebody if they need you.
But, like...
You're a little bit concerned about what's going on.
You're also, like, what the fuck are you two doing, really?
Yeah, it makes me a little upset, too, because, again, this is the relationship that kids are going to see.
And what children in the past have already swooned over and wanted their life to be in the future.
Yeah, so...
It's like, how is this a good role model at all?
I don't know. Yeah, it just makes me a little upset because I really feel 100% like neither of those issues, marriage, losing your virginity, are anything you should feel like you have to compromise on.
No.
And it's not a compromisable situation. I'm feeling 100% certain and comfortable, and I'm enthusiastic about this situation. Both of them.
Both ways.
Yeah. Okay, are you ready to keep going? Chapter 21. We're just going to do it.
21.
Chapter 21 for our 21st episode. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a joke.
So Bella's a little rocked on the day after. She doesn't understand how her night ended with her getting engaged, but she compromises internally and says she'll just do a quickie wedding in Vegas.
Yeah. It's like, how did my night get coerced?
She literally is like, I thought I was in charge. And it's like, in a relationship, neither of you should be in charge. Nope. Unless, like, I don't want to, if...
Blue's in charge of the kitchen cleaning because she likes to do that.
And because I have OCD. Yeah. And that is where a lot of my anxiety manifests.
Yeah. In vacuum time. She loves a good vacuum time.
Which reminds me, you should fix my vacuum.
Guys, okay, this is not a bit. She is distraught over her vacuum.
My vacuum is working, but, like, it's not working enough. And
the beater bar turns off.
Things touch my feet, and you don't... Please fix my vacuum. Okay. So the Cullen gets back.
The one Cullen.
The Cullens get back. Alice is in a bad mood. Again, she can't 100% see the future because of the wolves, but she thinks it's going to rain in the mountains and it's going to be like a bad storm. Edward's packing cold gear, and Bella calls like Jacob and Billy, who tell them it's going to be okay. And then Alice angrily asks to speak to Bella. Remember, she's 5'10", or 4'10".
You get over here, little bitch.
She goes, Bella, don't you love me? Bella's like, yeah. She's like, if you do, why do I see you sneaking off to Vegas to get married without me? She's fucking distraught. She's like, how could you do this to me? And she goes, please, 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 let me throw you a wedding, please. Bella doesn't want to do this, but like...
Yeah, because that'd be horrific.
Yeah, but Alice does talk her into it.
Let's talk about our marriage.
What about it?
About how it was 8 minutes.
The perfect ceremony.
Perfect ceremony.
I've heard Catholic ceremonies can be like 2 hours.
It's like, what are you... I don't even want to stand for that long.
I don't want to exist for that long in front of somebody.
Like,
I
what
totally
the
get...
hell?
Sorry.
The Bruno boy is going apeshit over there.
I totally get, I'm kind of the same way with Bella. I don't love attention.
No.
We threw the perfect wedding for that, for us.
15 people, the rest over YouTube.
It was 10 of us total.
Really?
It was perfect. And like Bella, something like that would probably be good for Bella. But again, she's doing this to compromise. She's like compromising with Alice, and a wedding is, you should only compromise with your partner on like little things like, oh, I want the plates to be this way, not, oh, 150 guests versus 10 is a good compromise.
I mean, that's not a good compromise.
I don't know. Anything you do with your partner is something you should do with your partner, but like, just keep an eye on it.
If you can't find something you both like to like extremes,
Yeah.
like if you're it like the two things, it's like you can't compromise on having children,
No.
like having 5 children and not having children.
No.
Like that's not something you really meet in the middle with.
Yeah. All right. So Alice wants to see the ring, but Bella's not wearing it yet. And Alice is like, what's the problem with one more diamond? Edward's like, shh. And Bella's like, what am I missing? So this insinuates that the massive fucking crystal Edward put on her wrist is a fucking huge diamond. That's got to be like 5K plus.
The one his mom had?
Yeah. I don't understand how Edward's parents were so rich. Because this, the crystal diamond she got is an heirloom, as is the ring.
Okay. So the thing is, he kind of worked himself up. He was self-built. And...
Yeah. Him and Carlisle,
yeah.
$34 billion. Yeah, Alice can read the stock markets, but like...
They're hustlers.
Self-built.
Yeah. They get up every day and grind.
They rouse and they ground.
And they will rise and grind in the future.
You know, actually, it's this super awesome soap brand that helps me survive.
Yeah?
No. Okay.
There's a big Bruno issue. No, let's pause and get this Bruno issue under control.
This is not possible to get under control. So from the garage at the Cullens, they move into the clearing, and Edward asks Bella to walk around and touch as much as she can. So she does. She even pulls out like stray hairs, you know.
She's just like rubbing.
She's just getting all over. She's just touching everything. And then they're almost at the end. What?
And then they put her in a body bag and take her up the hill.
But Bella falls and cuts her hand. And Edward starts to fix it up, but she's like, no, let me touch stuff with it. She's like, I know Jasper will like it.
Let me get an infection.
He's like, worried. He's like, you're literally going to get an infection. She's like, no, it's fine.
I don't know anybody who doesn't care about getting infections.
It's not that I don't care.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about
I don't believe in surface wound infections like that.
Oh. Interesting.
Are you
Because they're
done?
real.
Eh.
They're actually real.
Eh. I didn't realize this was the Attack Your Wife podcast.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Attack Your Wife. I'm Justin, and I'm going to be hitting this bitch.
But like emotionally and verbally.
Yeah. And physically, maybe.
You really want to make a DV joke?
No.
You want to take that back?
Yeah.
All right. You going to edit it out?
Maybe.
Okay. I'll just pop this here just in case. She's really worried that Edward won't be able to fix it. She's like, chill, like, it's fine, like, I know your blood stuff. And he's like, I got over that. I'm like, what?
I got over it overnight.
You know how you just got over your heroin addiction?
I just stopped. I was doing heroin, and I was like, no more.
once I spent 24 hours living with the thought of you dead, it changed everything. I'm like, that's not really how that works.
No. I mean, I had to go to therapy. Like, I had to get hospitalized to realize stopping smoking weed was bad.
Yeah. Well, it's
it
good.
was good. Yeah.
And that weed was not priority numero uno.
Yeah.
Me, your beautiful, sexy, incredibly
So
talented wife.
Me on heroin. So
No. Don't want to imagine anyone on heroin. It's one of the bad ones.
it's one of them.
It is.
Yeah.
So Jacob comes out and takes her up to the mountain in his human form. He has this big ass jacket, but they won't need him. Edward heads up to the campsite because apparently this is going to take a few hours for her to get up there with him.
Why?
Because it's really far away.
He can run so fast.
Well, he picks her up, and even though she's still mad at him for, the thing, he starts running up the hill, like with her in his arms.
Oh, as human? Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wasn't the whole point that the werewolf
He still smells like wolf in his human form.
But still, being a wolf would make it smell more like fucking wolf.
But I don't think she knows how to, ride a wolf like that.
Just hold on.
Oh my god, for an hour?
Yes.
That would hurt.
It's better than dying.
He notes that it's going to be a cold storm, and also that she hasn't been down to La Push lately, which is, crazy weird.
We'll push her over there.
And she's like, yeah, I wouldn't have even if I had time. And he's like, aren't you supposed to be the forgiving one? We're trying not to talk about it.
Never talk about this book again.
He then tries to convince her that she's in love with him, and then talks about the kiss in a far too casual way for my liking.
You know our cool assault we had?
Yeah. He then tries to pull the, well, you haven't tried any other options. If you ask me to kiss you next time, I'll kiss you. And he says
She won't.
Nope. He then says that it seems like it's easier for her to be near him when he's a wolf. And she's like, yeah, because you can't talk. And he's like, no, it's probably because you can pretend you're not attracted to me. What is Jake not getting?
Also, he's a pretty hot wolf.
Oh, what is he not getting? What wires in his brain are not hitting?
I don't know. Some wires get crossed when you assault someone.
And don't listen to anything they say.
Yeah. So I think some wires are default crossed.
Yeah, she, of course, gets riled up, which I would too, and talks about, Edward staying back, and Jake says he wouldn't stay back no matter what happened, which leads to Jacob trying to, again, convince her she's in love with him. They get further up the mountain, and there's this huge, crazy storm cloud, and Jacob says he's guarding her tonight, and Seth will take over in the morning during a fight. And they talk about the pack and how Jacob's in second in command. And he says, yeah, I'm supposed to be first in command, based on birthright stuff. But he didn't want that pressure, which I totally get,
I'm the fucking king, but I didn't want it.
Well, apparently now, since Sam is the alpha of the wolf pack, he's also the chief of the whole tribe.
Really?
That's just is
how it works.
The next step, yeah.
And none of the tribe gets an OI.
Nope. They're like, who's this fucking 20-year-old in charge
Massive motherfucker.
Again, disappeared for 2 weeks randomly.
Yeah.
And then came back and broke up with his girlfriend and was 108 degrees.
Yeah. And was 6 inches taller, or a foot taller, and 200 pounds heavier.
Yeah. They arrive at the campsite. Edward's happy. And then she goes into the tent, and Jacob goes to change into his wolf form. And that's where we're going to leave it tonight, because we're going to head chapter 22. We gotta hurry. We gotta finish this book next time.
Well, first we gotta go Betty bye.
Betty bye?
We gotta go Betty bye. I'm so tired.
Husband sweep. We can't talk like this. Thank you folks so much for listening to our silly, goofy little podcast.
Yeah, even though I do the best bits, just really good bits, and everybody loves them.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know it's really hard to listen to the funniest stuff you've ever heard.
Yeah.
And it's oh, my side's gonna explode. I know I've hospitalized a couple people with how funny I am.
Okay.
And they just can't stop laughing.
Yeah. You know, babe, I'm just really glad that this podcast is giving you a lot of self-esteem.
Really?
Yeah. So, if you haven't already, follow us on Twitter, at Reading Hostage.
What is our Twitter handle again?
At Reading Hostage.
And follow us on, or subscribe to us on YouTube, and
press that freaking like button.
And ring that freaking bell.
You don't have to do either of that.
No,
but
do both of those.
We are on YouTube at Reading Held Hostage if you want to do it that way. Some folks listen on there. We appreciate it, by the way, for those folks who are on YouTube. I know my pops is one of them.
Yeah.
Thanks, Papa.
Papa.
Thank you, Father. But yeah, we're glad to see folks listening to us. You can shoot us over an email if you have any books you want to recommend to us. I haven't read everything in the whole world.
Or anything we've missed.
Oh my god, yeah. If you have any comments you want us to say.
If you're like, hey, you missed this glaringly obvious thing.
Yeah.
Or skimmed over something you thought was very important.
Something you want us to mention. You're like, hey, you didn't talk about the necking scene enough.
Wait, what?
What?
What necking scene?
Just shoot us an email, let me know. Leave us a review, pretty please. 0 or 5 stars.
Those are the rules. Mm-hmm. And we follow the rules in this household.
Yes. We follow the rules because the blue has OCD and follows rules.
And that's what the Lord would want.
The Mormon Lord?
No, the Lord.
I don't think I like the Mormon Lord compared to some of the Christian
Okay,
Catholic
let's rank
lords.
the lords real quick. Blue, what's your least favorite race? Mine's NASCAR.
If I knew literally any race, I would say one of those.
Actually, for real, least favorite race, 4x4. You're making 4 people run a 400.
Uh-huh.
I was a track captain. Not to brag.
I was a track captain. Okay, Mr. We want 25. We would love 25 reviews by the end of the year.
We need 25 reviews.
We would greatly appreciate it.
Give us 25 reviews because we deserve it.
Give. And if you follow us on Twitter and all that, you'll see pictures of our cats. I have one of my kitty babies laying in my lap.
The one that's obsessed with her.
Yeah. And Bruno interrupted about 4 times.
Yeah. I might leave some of those in.
Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you so much, folks. We will see you next week with episode 22. My name's Blue, and I love to read.
My name's Justin, and this is a chore. I'm kidding.
Don't be mean to me. Thank you so much for listening to Readings Held Hostage. We'll see you next week, or you'll hear us next week.
No, I'll see you.
You and me will see each other.
No, I'll see you, listener at home.
They're fine. He's gonna get you, bro.